I remember that.
All right, hello, everybody. Welcome to another iteration of the My Hero Academia Manga Chapter Reads. We're here with the new chapter, 409. I'm here with Mark.
Ew.
And Mark, there's something that we always do before every new manga chapter, and what would that be?
Recap episode!
Thank you. It's the recap episode. Real quick, this is a little bit of back lore stuff going on as far as, that moment where All For One lost his brother. By both like the hands of the second user and also himself
I was gonna say, and his own hands.
and his own hands. They draw parallels as to what's causing the development of the quirk One For All, and it's a really cool duality between like both like influence people to just kind of respond to what's going on with like his body or the quirk, moreover. And then we get some flashbacks with push forward of like every single time he's got thwarted by the other users, and some quite very I'm not even gonna like try to like sugarcoat it. It's some pretty grotesque stuff for some of those.
It's something out of Elden Ring.
Yeah. But then you see All Might's like, first of all, I admired the pose that he does. He has such form when he punches like All For One's head off.
He punched his fucking top of his face off.
And then, of course, like he gets revived later on by the doctor. And then, this is where he gets brought back into like the current times right now. And he's realized that like, okay, may not be the same person. I'm not even sure about that, but they still got that look. He's looking at Bakugo at this point. And at this point,
like, he ain't him, but he kind of him.
He kind of him. So I need to kill you. Like, what?
He said, hey, you may not be him, but hey, you kind of giving him vibes, and I like that.
That needs to stop. And so this is the craziest thing like he's able to pull off. This is like one of his this is one of those super finisher moves that he's got going on. It's called the Omni Factor Unleash All For One Goal. And essentially, I mean, I made the joke before, but essentially he has like Truth Seeker orbs. He's got multiple things just popping out of his body, different faces, different powers just constructing in physical form. And it's all this energy just propelled forward towards Bakugo.
He is full sending it.
Yes. Everyone recognizes like that's a huge threat right there. All Might's just very concerned for the boy at this point, and Bakugo just like looks out and he's ready to do something. And that's where we end in the recap. So now it's time for 409. I'm happy to say nothing has gotten to me on this one. So it's all going to be brand new. Except for that little bit that you told me about it. And
all I said was they say to read it with might plus you on.
Yeah, yeah. I guess granted, because I wasn't even looking at this for a little bit, I'm reminded of like, okay, what are the circumstances that would cause something like that to be played? And I'm like, okay, now I get it. This is it. So we're gonna jump into the first page. This is 409, quirk : explosion, in exclamation points. It's almost like a Kachan Origins type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It starts from when he was like when he was born. They get a little detail on the baby face. You don't even recognize them.
When they're first born, they're like little aliens.
Yeah, they're like little aliens.
Which is just because they're all raisined up from being in water for 9 months.
This is true, yeah. And then we cut a little bit forward about all these different phrases that he said, like throughout the course of like their journey. This is Bakugo, I believe, when he had first confronted Deku about like the quirk, just to make sure. He says, "I'm gonna make all my skills and my own path keep rising." It's funny how they like point to Deku's shirt, just to you gotta just translate real quick. Sheets.
Why does it just say sheets?
I don't know. I'm waiting for the one that just is translated to dung.
Dung.
Cuts to another panel right here. My explosion can pull anything I wanted to, he says. Another panel right here. Izuku. So at this point, yeah, of course, Bakugo's like on a first name basis with Deku. I won't stand in your way anymore. Cuts to like the present time. Bakugo is just looking out to this ginormous like ball of energy while he's kind of keeping himself up with a little bit of micro explosions. Here's All Might. He's still saying, "Dodge it, kid!" Bro, it's so crazy to look at this ball of whatever this is of All for One.
Just this amalgamation of absolute doom.
I love how they're like utilizing like the waves here, because that thing shoots forward.
Yeah, that thing is breaking the sound barrier.
Everything's getting blown away. All Might's not even safe up there. We cut to the next page here. Please blow up. Blow the hell up.
This detail on Bakugo's face.
Yeah, it's crazy. You almost can't even recognize him. I think that's All for One right there.
Rah!
Okay, I need to like really look at this detail right here. So immediately explosions start happening, and it's just like I'm trying to see what that was. I think that may have been like one of the
That
faces.
was his face.
Yeah,
that
that's
was his face.
Yeah, that's one of the faces getting blown up immediately.
Oh no, that was his face.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can see it now. And he's super shocked by that. He's like, huh? Wait, how can this be? The boy didn't take any clear action just now. And I'm just, oh my god. Bakugo's like continuing to talk here. Rain's putting a damper on my oomph, so I fired off some coated beads. As he's like shocked by that. We get some more explanations here. Beads of explosive sweat coated with regular sweat. I mean, what?
Basically he coated his like nitroglycerin sweat. Like he basically coated that with just normal, like just average sweat that hasn't been covered in the nitroglycerin from his quirk.
That's wild.
So it's got like a protective coating.
I guess so. I shot him off without triggering them, hoping that something else might set it off on a delay. Oh, okay. That's crazy.
Dude, bro's face is messed up right now.
Yeah. Yeah, let me see. Back there. Straight into my mouth? Bro.
Dude, it's funny because I shared this with Master Hand. He said, or I talked about this with Master Hand. He sent me that screenshot right there, and he said, "Hey, yo, pause."
Straight into my mouth? Pause? Yeah, at the last second. Yeah, back when he was doing all these different moves with them. If nothing else, says Bakugo, I've always earned kudos for my intuition. The one quirk I've got is enough. Nice. Let me see what's going on here. It's another flashback just immediately before like he left to go fight All for One while he was like meeting up with All Might there. The damage he takes, the younger he regresses. Get the picture? Yeah, so that's just like the strat right there. All the damage has thrown my powers into disarray, but I need only to unleash them once more. Yeah, he you can even see by just like how they're like adjusting the font here. This is my tale. But I was gonna say, is this him? Is this All for One saying this? He says, "Move aside, You extra. You nobody.
Oh yeah, that's him saying that.
He really said extra. Oh, hold on. Sorry, that's the Alt key, not the FN key here. Bro, here we go. Here we go. Next one's a big illustration one. It's howitzer impact.
Man just man just hit him hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there's so much to this gigantic mass. Makes me wonder how this is gonna end up. But yeah, that front face definitely just got knocked out real quick. All Might's like in this tiny little panel right here. He's like, oh!
He's like, holy shit.
And Bakugo's just trying to like stay alive, like keep his head above water, if you will. And then we jump into the next page, and it's just like it's another like art spread. We're being blessed again. He says, "Get wrecked."
Boom, boom,
several
boom.
explosions to just like that one part of the mass. Oh, damn, dude. You know what? Because the next, oh, sorry, I'm taking up all these pages here. Because Bakugo like goes to the next like half page with another illustration. He says, "And shut up." And I was like, "Bro, is that Ken?"
Oh, he just said, and shut the hell up.
Oh yeah, it says, "Shut the hell up."
Very Bakugo.
Very Bakugo. And good luck to them just like trying to animate this. If you're going to watch this like on simulcast, it's going to be like all faded. It's going to be dim as hell.
You see why I said, you see why I agreed with that person now? I said, yeah, I can see Mike plus you to this.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. I'm just over here like thinking about like how this is going to be like the Jujutsu Kaisen episode where everything's dimmed up. Granted, they've done that before in the series, but yeah, no. Keep a lookout for that Blu-ray release. Bro, okay. You know what, Mark? You can take the next page.
Wait, this is all for one. Something's off.
Mm-hmm.
My quirk factors aren't mingling properly. How could these mere fireworks be tearing them apart? Because my body's grown too young, too delicate. Yeah, we see someone's talking to him in the vestige world.
Mm.
All those nasty negative emotions have got you in a tailspin, so you're losing control over us. And then we see, we look over. It's Hawks, and he's got a vestige Hawks, and he's got all the people who are the other vestiges of all the quirks that all for one is stolen, gathering around him.
Bro.
It's like they're all like hype fans. You see him like you see Hawks go, check it out. This joint is my fan meetup venue now. You see him like pointing at all for one with his tongue out. He said, swallowed up by Shigaraki, huh?
He's being coy.
Then we see Bakugo. Get it straight. This is our tale. As we just see him palm all for one's face like a
Full
fucking
palm.
basketball. Bro, the detail on this man's face.
Damn. He even slammed him down like it is. Someone do a quick edit.
And if you look back at when he palmed his face, you can see the brace, like the part that was from Hercules. It broke off, and in the next panel, his arm is
oh no.
Dude, I didn't notice that until just a few hours ago, to where Master Hand pointed it out to me. I was like, oh!
Hey, do arms do that?
I was like, he did an Izuku. My man's arm is a noodle. But bro, he beamed his ass down.
Mm-hmm.
Kaboom! Little by little, the damage everyone dealt, all that built up aggravation. At long last, as we see All Might, we see Bakugo's parents, We see Yoruichi
Mm-hmm.
for certain this time. All for one is as we see just him in a crater down there. God. We
Mm.
see Bakugo looking down. Yeah, I never could have hoped to beat that. At least not alone.
Nice, nice, nice.
I was like, yo, I was hyped reading this, man. I was hyped reading this.
This is good.
Like, this is real. I really like this moment for Bakugo.
It is a great moment. This is like, I mean, granted, well, it's kind of, I'm kind of like wrestling with it. Like, yes, he did, he faced him off like one on one, but yes, it was also not alone either.
It wasn't alone, but I still feel like I'm glad that Bakugo still, much like in Hero Rising, I'm glad that we got to see him and Izuku really have this big duo final role, like in the end.
Yes. If anything, it kind of just, it's to weave like those ideas back together. Even if it didn't happen exactly the way he had it intended, he, he still had like a way to like make it work.
Not only that, I also love how Hawks is still being a thorn in his side, even inside the vestige,
Mm-hmm.
just like Star was.
This is true.
Hawks just in there having a fan meetup, and he said, "Hey,
It's nice to see you here.
hey, fancy seeing you here."
I like that though, because even though like Star did like what she could before like all the raging like faded out, but the fact that like the vestiges kind of had like, well, not just a mind of their own, but also because of the fact that like all this damage is being done and all, yeah, again, the negative emotions, like kind of like he's, I mean, obviously I think the fact that he's been breaking as like his character has made it so it's hard to control everybody else as far as the quirk like scene, which is, I guess, honestly the downside of his quirk is that,
Basically, it's like eventually now he's not able to keep control of all of them.
right. So obviously in that case, like his quirk, all for one, essentially is to like take and then like give. But if he holds on to too many, it becomes even harder to control unless you tempered yourself with that, and or you keep like control of your emotions too. But he couldn't
Not
do
only
it.
that,
Not with
and it's like if
Bakugo's
you
face.
exactly, and it's seeing him down in the crater, I can't even tell how small he is now. Like, do you think it's a?
Now
Do you
the
think?
next line for the next chapter is gonna be Bubba.
Buh, like he's God. That's where I was like, because like looking at it, I can't tell if we're looking at a baby or maybe a toddler.
Yeah, he might be like 2 years old.
I mean, like yeah, like from here it looks like he's either a big ass baby or he's like two.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what it looks like from here. But I mean, dude, cool, like big props to Bakugo.
Mm-hmm. Shout outs to just like drawing all of this.
And it's like just it is true that literally everybody did their part in bringing down all for one. Like it was not just anybody. It was like
Mm-hmm.
quite literally everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only person who didn't like who wasn't fighting all for one was Izuku.
I was gonna say, yeah, he never really directly faced him.
Yeah, well, I guess
Well,
him and I guess him and Ida.
well, I mean, are you sure?
Uh, I'm trying to think if there's a time where Ida, because I think Todoroki showed up once.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong.
Well, actually, you know what? I think the closest thing like Deku would have had against like fighting like all for one directly would have been that moment where um it was showing Shigaraki kind of wrestling with that conscious.
Oh yeah, when he was basically like controlling
Yeah,
Shigaraki.
yeah. I guess that would actually be kind of the case, but I guess
True.
but it's weird because at that point, there's two different All for Ones at that point. The original and then like the one that's trying to influence like Shigaraki. But Shigaraki kind of has that put down.
True. And honestly, like, if it wasn't for Rewind, this fight would have been done a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Like, if it wasn't for Rewind, Endeavor would have won.
Yeah, you're right. I totally forgot the fact that he had to pull that as like a last resort, and
Like,
that's when he was just kind of on like this time limit and forced him to leave.
and honestly, that's when we got to see a lot of cool shit, like, going
Mm.
against him. Like, we got to see,
I
like a full power Dark Shadow.
Dark Shadow, yeah, just
Dude, Shinzo controlling Gigantomachia was hype.
mhm. It's literally like everyone's fever dream of controlling like Godzilla.
Literally, it's like someone just said, "Hey Kong, banana,"
But no, no, no.
and he said, "Ooh." It didn't help that Gigantomachia was also heartbroken.
Yeah, oh man, it was
Like,
rough.
because it wasn't even just the fact of that Shinzo is controlling him; it's also the fact of he genuinely was upset.
Yeah, which is great. It's great for us.
It's like, "Hey, yo, man, hey, you want to fight with your boss? Go ahead."
Mm. We'll help you.
Shit. Then there was like with Mountain Lady as well,
Yeah,
and it's like all the pros did their part.
and of course, if it weren't for it, like the rewind, we wouldn't have All Might like at the very beginning stancing up the way he did.
True. Seeing Iron Might was dope.
Hmm.
I still wish we would have called it Iron Might.
I mean, it'll be Iron Might in our hearts.
Maybe in the English dub.
That'd be sick. Iron Might.
I mean, not only that, like, oh, it's just this arc has been so good.
Hmm. This has to be the
Like,
final arc, so they gotta like pull all the stops.
yeah, like I mean, I don't see how unless you're gonna explore the rest of the world of My Hero, this is definitely like the peak of the current world.
This is true. It's tough when it comes down to like shonen ones where you fight that big bad and like say you finish that, like what's exactly next? It would have to be something that surpasses even that,
Yeah,
or like I
like
can't even imagine after that.
maybe it could be a spin-off like Vigilantes.
One for all next generations. I mean,
Because
technically,
like Vigilantes is technically a prequel.
yeah. So you could see works behind that, but Vigilantes is already like past. It's already been
Yeah,
completed.
yeah, it finished like a year or two ago,
Yeah, you could animate
and
it, but
it's
yeah, but
oh,
the story doesn't really continue going
oh, I'd be
forward.
down to see Vigilantes animated.
It'd be cool to see like a follow up to Vigilantes, like after the fact. Just maybe set like place somewhere within My Hero's story, if not maybe even after that.
That would be really cool, at least to see like at the very end of the story, like we actually do see our crew from Vigilantes,
Yeah, at least one of them, if anything, just as a
especially
nice
our main
nod.
character.
Well, actually, there was already a nod, but yeah, still.
Uh, man, it's like it's just been really great overall, and
Hmm.
I'm still holding out hope. I told Master Hand this. I'm still holding out hope because we haven't seen Aizawa, we haven't seen President Mike, and we haven't seen Kurogiri or Shirakumo.
Hmm.
I'm holding out hope. Eri, please. Please.
We'll see, dude. Because if Eric
I
is able to pull that off, then it's like, I mean, she needs to be protected. Those powers
if
need to be protected too.
I feel like that would be such a cherry on top for Aiza. What the let him have this.
Yeah. Maybe also his
L-
leg too.
like bring back his friend.
Well, I know Eric's got a lot of work to do.
It's like cuz I feel like cuz her power already defies logic.
Hmm.
Like it's the quirk that reverses that she can if she does it she's learning how to control it, so she can control how much she reverses something,
Mm.
like she did for Mirio.
Yeah, she can literally revert it to a point in time in which his quirk returns is still with him.
So which I don't see how it's out of the realm of possibility to revert our boy here back to when he was when he was human.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
I
you
don't
mean
see
yeah, Kurogiri, yeah.
and I don't see how that would mean he can't still be alive. He wouldn't just go back to being a corpse.
That's yeah. It wouldn't be out of the question if you could put return the quirk back when it was lost to essentially take back someone's life. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
I can kind of see
that's
that.
what. And honestly, I just feel like that would be like just I just think that's like Aizawa deserves that happiness.
Yeah, it would kind of. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say like that'd be great for them. I think though, like that could possibly open up some like other plot points and other like issues going on in the future. So that could be something you could just put down on like a little bit of a sticky note for things to plan ahead for the series.
True. Unless they want to, unless they want to do the other thing that we thought of before, which was uh Kurogiri and Shirakumo forming kind of like an agreement to control the body together.
Mm-hmm.
To which we
I
would
don't
like,
know. The more I look at that, the more the more I look at that relationship, the more I look at like Gato currently, and like,
true.
and I'm like, well, like the soul still exists there in some form or fashion, but it's like,
Oh, you mean like for like Geto from Jujutsu Kaisen?
yes, exactly.
I mean, isn't he kind of dead?
Be kind of dead. But I guess you could
If
possibly like revert the original brain, right? And then of course
it's
if we,
there,
yeah, right, because yeah, I don't really know too much at that point, so it's just like
because
I
I know
could
that
kind of see
it's
that happening.
because um we know that we know that our villain himself, he is a brain.
He, yeah, he's the brain.
And so that's where I'm like, well, Kenjaku, that's his name, Kenjaku. Kenjaku is a
Yeah.
brain, and so that's where I'm like, I wonder what he did with the old brain.
Uh, essentially, if it's to undo it, if Eri just like touched like that Gato at that point, essentially it would diminish the brain. That's Kenjaku. And then it would revert the other brain, which was originally Gato's, and also bring him back to life. Assuming that she can do that at that point.
I guess so. Maybe assuming that she
That's what
could
I'm
cause the
thinking.
brain to completely regenerate.
Yeah, because I don't know. Like honestly, when she was able to reverse Mirio's quirk back, um, honestly, things that were taken away from the body can probably be like put back in.
That's what
So
I would assume.
yeah, so in that case, that was what well, I guess maybe not entirely, but that's what Chisaki could actually have done to him is to like put back
Speaking
his
of what,
arms.
he is still a player.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him. He's still a player.
Mm,
We know that Izuku agreed to help him out.
right. And honestly, you know, if we're gonna put it within the My Hero verse, maybe Eric would be capable of bringing back Ed Shots, like all like Ed Shots body like back.
It's like she has the capability to heal all of the damage done, but
Mm,
she has to master her power first.
this is true. Because
Like
otherwise,
she
it's just
could
like you know, it's like trying to scroll through the timeline of a video, but not really being able to stop it.
it's like she could heal All Might's injury. She could
True.
completely heal Toya.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good point.
She could like I think her only we don't actually need to know if she has limitation, honestly.
Yeah, she could. If we're assuming a lot of these things, then she could also like bring Mirko's like all of her, like every single bit of her body back.
This is true. She could bring back all of Mariko's limbs.
Hmm.
It's like
Also endeavors.
eh, she could even get rid of Todoroki's scar.
That's wild. I didn't even think about that.
Like, Eri has the power to quite literally heal
Literally
everyone,
patch up everything. Everything.
and it's like she could probably return Hawks' quirk to him.
Yeah. The only limitation is obviously like the timeline that she has because it needs to develop first, and then she can like let loose at the very least.
Yeah, her little horn has to grow.
Yeah. So it's like, she has to be very selective at the end of the day, unless you had a quirk that can help like boost that.
Like, help stabilize it.
Or I guess rather like build allow her to build energy faster.
I think didn't they try to have Monama copy her quirk?
Yeah. And it didn't work the same way.
He couldn't do it.
Yeah, and that's a limitation on his end.
Yeah, he tried. He said, "No, I can't do it."
He can't like do like stockpile type of stuff. Anything that requires energy to build.
It's like he could use one for all, but it was like pointless.
Right, because,
I think the most he could get out of it was the strength. That's it.
hmm or I think that was also a thing of contention too. But yeah, one for like when we bring one for all into the debate of things, it can be kind of weird.
'Cause I remember he had the aura from it, but I forget. It's been so long, so I'm forgetting if he was
Yeah,
actually quite able to use it.
I believe he absorbed the original stockpile power, but it was transferred to him in a way that wasn't like the mole process of passing on like the existing strength over to another person.
Yeah, so there's no the stockpile power ability to where it's like this has been stockpiled for a while. Especially it got a huge boost with All Might
Exactly.
because All Might was fucking strong.
Yeah, he was already built as it was.
Like, I want you to keep in mind, this man did a punch so strong in the beginning of the series, he changed the damn weather.
He also never even needed any other quirks.
But keep in mind, this was not. He wasn't even at his prime in the beginning of the series. That's where I'm like, oh,
Mhm. All my prime
that's
sounds
why I'd be.
crazy.
I'm just thinking, bro, if you're telling me this is you not even at your strongest and you changed the weather with a simple uppercut,
hmm
I'm just like, you are terrifying.
Right, which is why it had to be All Might that finished like all for one off like originally
It explains why he punched the top of his face off.
with perfect form and
True,
strength.
and with an injury.
That's true. He had the energy at that injury at that point.
Yeah, if I had to assume, it must have been like they were like doing kind of like I was from the angle. It kind of makes it looks like like one of those like clashes like where it's like they're about to like clash with each other.
hmm
It's like he took the hit and it kept going and then boom right in the face.
Yeah. That's a good point to make as well because like in this sequence of events of the current chapter, kind of going back to this, honestly, that is as strong as all like that's all for one's strongest like move right there. And with a little bit of tenacity and some like as Baku said, intuition, he was able to downsize that. And you know, he's not changing the weather or anything, but like I feel like he
He
could.
cert he certainly changed how toasty that man is.
Yeah.
I mean that's a big boom.
hmm
We didn't get the Gohan ref. We didn't get the Dragon Ball Gohan versus Cell reference, but you know what? I'll take it.
I'm kind of taken away by like the directions of the explosion.
Oh yeah, how it just goes kind of like off in this like kind of like an X shape.
Yeah, like I've seen that before, like in like some kind of illustration or like some video game where like that's just like the impact of that explosion
Mm-hmm. It's because like when an explosion goes off, it kind of just goes off in an area.
everywhere. But this one's like energy is like being spouting out like from different places.
I think that might be because it's condensed, maybe.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a fair point. All of the explosions have been pretty like precise if you actually like go back to like a lot of them.
My man's arm is a noodle, though, bro. I can't unsee that.
Flashback to when Deku first noodled his arm.
Oh yeah, when he saved Uraraka at the very beginning. Smash! Douche! He said, "Oh."
He also was like, oh, I can't land.
He said, "I gotta stop." He said, "Oh, my arms, my legs, nugget, 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 nugget."
Yeah,
He
no,
realized he broke one of his arms and both of his legs.
both of them. Yeah, this is a huge dub for Bakugo.
And huge for the series in general. The most evil man on the planet
Yeah, truly,
has been defeated.
after like years upon years of just like, granted he was plotting his rule for a while, a lot of plotting, a lot of heinous crimes here and there, and he's finally taken down, or at least rather, a good portion of him has been taken down now.
Oh yeah, and I also really like the how we got to see Yoichi. Like we see him in
Mhm.
the very like bottom left corner, like
Oh
that look.
yeah,
It's a look that's not like he's not happy about it, but it's kind of like he understands.
he understands that what was done needed to be done. That Bakugo actually accomplished what was needed to be done for a long time.
Yep, he because Yoichi knew his brother needed to be stopped.
Yeah,
And it's like he wanted to have faith that his brother could be good, but I think he also knew that it just wasn't going to happen.
you need to end like the Killing Joke, Batman.
But and then we see like his parents. Like, dude, can I just say how wholesome that is? At the beginning, the where
Mm.
they're holding him when he was just born, Bakugo's dad crying. I was like, that's so wholesome.
What? Hold on. Hmm. I guess that is him. Because I was looking at, I thought that was just someone else.
Oh no, that's Bakugo's dad.
Man, dude. Yeah, you're right. Because the glasses. He
It's so
helped.
wholesome,
He helped with the surgery. Good on him.
and he seems like a softer individual than his mother.
Mm. Well, I
So
mean,
that's why I also believe it's him.
yeah, yeah. He was always been like the big softy.
Yeah, it's like you could see he gets his attitude from his mother, and he gets his hairstyle from his father.
Just the hairstyle.
Well, he gets the hairstyle and he gets the hairstyle from his dad, and he gets the hair color and the eyes from his mom.
Hmm. And um, if I recall correctly, like that quirk is like it's emerging.
It is. It's a perfect combination of his parents' quirks.
Yeah.
Because I believe his dad's quirk is. I want to say his dad's quirk is the glycerin, or no,
Mm.
maybe that's his mom's. Maybe his mom's is the glycerin,
Yeah, I might
and
have to like double check that one. But aside from that, just to
his
wrap
dad's the
up,
oxidation.
we have a new chapter coming in 2 weeks this time around.
That's at least yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that after seeing
I'm
this.
content. This is a nice little closure bit before you like maybe shift over to like prime time. This is like the Shigaraki fight.
I feel like we've got to see how this wraps up first, though.
This is true. Like, is Bako really gonna like smother a baby?
Like, I mean, I don't know, I saw someone in the comments say like he's not gonna believe that All for One is really dead until he sees Shigaraki decay him.
Hmm,
I was like, that would be brutal.
that'd be rough. That's rough, buddy.
It's like, could you imagine?
I guess that would be like. I mean, I guess that would be the most appropriate send off for All for One for good.
Destroyed by the very hand that he raised.
Yes, it's very poetic, and then it's also really messed up when we see that as the viewers. Like, God.
I mean, and we can see even though Shigaraki doesn't want to be controlled by him, he is still in a way thankful to All for One.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of tethered that way. So unfortunately, like even if he's like in control, you know, he might still carry out some similar like wish, just in
It's
his own
like
way.
It's because like the world rejected Shigaraki, and now Shigaraki rejects the world.
Right. So it's not like he's gonna be like a changed character unless Deku can really like convince him.
I think that Izuku, that's his goal. I think he might be able to, but I wouldn't say it's a definite possibility. It's because 10 because we know he's still in there. We
Hmm.
know the original boy is still in there.
Yeah. It's, Deku might be able to do it, and I think he's all the better now because the people he's cared about is relatively secure. So, because otherwise he was like very much so, and I do appreciate the fact that that's his flaw right now is the fact that he's very emotional still, and he's still like prone to like lashing out with his emotions, and that causes his quirks to kind of go haywire. But now that all
Yep.
that's been taken care of, like he could now fully concentrate on Shigaraki, and then that opens up that possibility of like, can I put my energy into saving him, or is it really too late? And that's what he's got to find out.
And he just used that gear shift for the second time, so he better hope he
Oh, that's
can.
true. Yeah, like that's his last bit.
It's like unless he's planning on throwing Bakugo, then using the gear shift in the same motion to try to,
We'll see. We'll see. Honestly, like they're probably cooking. They're probably gonna be cooking for the next 2 weeks.
it's like I feel like because this is the last big battlefield. Like, it's when this is clear, he's covered all his bases,
Hmm.
and I'm still telling you, there's two things, two, count them, two, that have yet to be revealed just yet.
Hmm.
That is one, what is happening with Aizawa, Present Mike, and Shirakumo.
Oh yeah, they're gone. Oh, they're
Two,
dead. Actually.
two,
Hmm.
where is Chisaki?
Oh yeah, no, Chisaki's showing up in like epilogue stuff for sure.
Because like I can absolutely see Chisaki showing up to whoop Shigaraki's ass after what happened at the end of the arc.
I don't think Chisaki's stable enough to do anything right now.
Unless he got him with the boss.
Like just like in some other cutaway, maybe.
Because that's what Izuku said. He would get him his meeting with his boss.
But yeah, he has to first apologize to Eri first. And who knows if that actually even happened yet.
I feel like he's desperate enough to where he'll probably do it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think that'd be a satisfactory like apology, and I'm pretty sure Deku knows that.
I know. But like,
Yeah, I'm just saying that that's if that happened, that was just completely off camera, and that's just saved for a very specific moment.
not only that as well, we have had villains help. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Stain, he gave his life.
Yes.
Like, Stain literally gave his life.
Hmm. And so,
And
and Gentle though was not like an actual bad guy. He was labeled as an antagonist at that point, and you see him and La Brava like turning around on that one. Same with Lady
and even
Nagant. Um,
in her
Possibly had some
dying
other ones.
breath, Toga saved Uraraka.
That's true. Yeah. Essentially. So I would say definitely not like it's not out of the realm of possibilities. It's just that we kind of just don't really know yet.
Yep. I feel like if Chisaki helps, it's gonna be out of a thank you to Izuku for helping him save his boss.
That would be fair. Although I don't think
And
killing like Shigaraki would be the exact like payoff that like Deku was anticipating or wanted. So we'll see. I mean, like if he just helps out, that's awesome. But if he's there like fully wanting to kill this dude and Deku just wants to save him, then like there's gonna be some conflict there. which would be kind of an interesting like plot turn, but we're kind of at this point where it should just be like kind of a one-on-one. Unless I guess Shigeru like Chisaki wants to finish the job like off camera, maybe off Hero's like sites. That's all I can anticipate. But yes, but for now, 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks, and we'll just go ahead and wrap up. Mark, is there anything else you would like to add before we go ahead and put this talk to a close? And no. And Mark, did you fall asleep like immediately? Because it's just like, hello, Mark. Mark, hello. Hold on. Let me pause real quick. Okay, we're back. Mark, quickly, just one last thing you want to add before we go ahead and call.
No, I was gonna say that. Well, with everything that had happened, we'll see if anything happens with those points that I pointed out, and yeah, I mean, I could see that happening because, like we said, I mean, Stain, probably one of the biggest villains we'd seen, gave his own life to help out. So I don't see any reason why it couldn't happen again with some other characters that we've had issues with in the past.
Fair enough.
But and on top of that, I think that if we're not gonna see the end of All for One after Bakugo's victory here next chapter, I feel like we'll.
Oh no. All right, so real quick, Mark's power apparently has gone out, and it's causing some problems on his end. We should we wait again? Might take a little bit. Here, let me see if we can wait, let me see if we can get him back again. All right, I got you. Here we go. We got cut off at a point where you were saying that you could expect that another thing like that could happen, similar to Stain.
Yep, and with Bakugo's victory today, I think that we'll either at some point we're gonna see immediately after this we're gonna see All for One and his exit of the story. You know, his basically his finishing moment,
Mhm.
or we'll see that somewhere in the fight with Izuku and Shigaraki in the future.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, we're gonna go ahead and like close it here. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. We'll be jumping back into the another chapter coverage in 2 weeks. So stay tuned until
Two
then.
2 weeks we get to see Izuku's big fight.
Yes. Or maybe like the conclusion of this one. Either way,
True.
I'm totally satisfied with it. But guys, that's gonna be it. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. And we'll see you guys in the next one. 2 weeks. But yeah. All right, guys. Take care, everybody. #bye, everyone.